Alright, welcome back my friends to a new video where today we're going to be working on the Honda motorcycle. Oh yeah, who in the hell are you trying to fool, Chuck? It's like around the 0-degree freezing mark. We're going back into the house where it's warm and getting in on the workbench. We're going to do some painting, not outside. Oh yeah, look at ice, ice, baby. Yeah, we're going to do some painting, not outside painting, but inside painting and gluing and assembling. You know, normal model stuff. Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, continuing on from the last video where we had the body in primer. I did want to paint it, but yeah, it's like -4 out, as you saw in the intro, and it's way too cold to take a risk at painting this, so we're going to put it off for a little while. And this cold weather, I got sick, so I've been out and about for like down for the count, sorry, for the last week, and totally incoherent. I just can't think, can't function, can't move out of bed, so that's been my week. Unbelievable, holy. Anyhow, we're going to get back on this. If we're not going to be able to paint, we will do the engine. Sorry, still a little bit croaked up here. We're going to finish assembling the engine, do the fine details on that, and get it ready to install in the chassis. I did want to put the rear end in and stuff like that, but this is just a mock-up. So, and the exhaust has to go first, but I'll have to put the engine and K-frame on to get that exhaust positioned proper. So I think that's what we're gonna do first step. Okay, we got the front K-frame section glued in. Let it sit overnight as I clamped it down. I was questionable if I should clamp it down or not, but hey, what the hell, might as well, I figured. So there is two different color differentiations, a flat black compared to the gloss of the body. So now the shocks don't go in, if I remember correctly. Sometimes it pays to read instructions, but hey, me being me, that is yeah, forget it. So I have to put fan on, shroud, belts, this, that, and exhaust. That's now my goal. So I think the plan of attack today is start painting the little stuff here and glue the engine into the chassis, get that ready to assemble. One thing I'll have to do is black out grill, and I am going to use these hubcaps, so we're going to black out the hubcaps, and I'm going to repaint some chrome stuff because some stuff shouldn't be chrome and it is. Okay, let's try video and sound quality out of my phone. I think it's highly superior. It's amazing the phones, what they do these days. Actually, it's not a phone, it's a mini computer, right? Anyhow, I did my cadmium looking kind of plating. We did that windshield wiper, where is it? Right there. We did that one to make it look like that. And I did the carburetor too. Now what I did do is I painted the chrome actually silver. So if this comes in clear, hopefully it does. Where's my pointer? Right there. I did silver rather than chrome because chrome's too shiny. And then over top of the silver I put the gold. And I did the same on the carb. I didn't do the top of the hat silver because you're not going to see that. That's going to get glued on the air cleaner, but you probably won't even see that gold irradiated finish. And I just used this gold acrylic paint on it. I've got everything painted and pretty much dried off, so I can start putting that engine in and gluing the suspension on. So it might take a little while for the engine to dry and the front K-frame before I get too far into it. And I'm going to add a note here that, you know what, these little clips are fantastic. I can hold things to paint them or glue or clamp. Fantastical. Oh, you can see what I did there. I put the solenoid and starter base silver and the front core black. I don't know why the companies did that. And the typical Dodge tan cap over the distributor housing, and look, even detailed up the front alternator bracket gets silver or sorry, the bracket gets flat black, semi-gloss black, and the alternator, I put silver over the chrome. Ooh, and I should have did gold windings. I might do that before I do that. Do the windings, that finish, and just kind of like wipe it off so you'll get that little transition. We're getting too detailed on this. Now, what is better than watching paint dry? Well, of course, putting paint on. So check it out. I'm gonna just dip my brush in a bit of gold, and we're gonna just slap it on, baby. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it very liberal because you'll see in a little bit that my technique, after I let it sit a bit and dry, I'm just gonna wipe it right off. And yeah, there's no rhyme or reason to where I'm gonna put this because a lot of it is gonna come off. And y'all might remember blah blah blah. And you'll have to remember that I'm a professional, so don't try this at home without proper guidance. Yeah, I know, just kidding. This is just pretty hokey stuff. And then, yep, just come along like this and give her a little wipe or two. And I didn't overly let this dry very long, so sometimes you do have to scrape it off because it sticks a little bit. But this is my technique, and I think a lot of other people do similar techniques, or they'll take a toothbrush, or not toothbrush, a toothpick, and kind of like just scrape off that little first coating, I guess, for lack of wordings. Sorry, like I said, this flu bug is just taking everything out of me, thought-wise and breath-wise and everything. So here's a little tip for some of the more beginner guys than us older folks that have done motors and putting in model kits together and stuff like that. Always get your exhaust onto the block perfectly mated to your pipe outlets, because you don't want to have that out of the line. Then you have to twist or melt or do whatever to get those lined up. So sometimes I'll glue it to the block like I did after taking the paint off. And then I put them as flat as I could on the mating surfaces. And then I just took that, as you saw, and my shaky old man hands. Come on, sit there. Yeah. So it's pretty much lined up there where that will work like that. So that's a good start, and we'll let that dry overnight probably, because I got other things to do. We're going to go run and work on some train stuff today. Or actually, we have to go run and work on my van today. And lastly, here's the other thing that we're going to line up, and that is this bracket right there. We'll have, I can't do it on camera because I can't hold it, but I've got things lightly glued, so I'm going to push him down into that little spot there off camera because, yeah. So now that bracket, alternator bracket, is properly put in there and it's tight. I put it as tight up to get the block in that spot where its proper position is on a Dodge. And I like details on these because look at this. There's a little gap right there, and that usually gets a little spacer in between that little section there, because a bolt goes from there to the block. And if you tighten it without a spacer, you'll break the lugs off the alternator. And this picture here shows exactly what I'm talking about. There you see the spacer that I talk about, and also the details that are on this kit where that alternator bracket and area looks exactly real. And I do like that numbering on the valve cover. That's a bit of bonus. And if you ask me, how do I know those alternator mounting lugs break if that spacer's not installed? Well, that might be an experience that happened once or twice in my lifetime. So we're at this point in all its glory. I changed cameras, went from phone to hand camera, and I think the quality is way different. Anyways, I'm at this point, and we're gonna let things dry up. It's almost ready to put in. I'm gonna have to do touch-ups because I've touched everything and wore some of the paint off. I don't put paint on very heavy, and I didn't like the parting line that was still on that exhaust, so I scraped those down a little bit more. We'll have to touch that up, and yeah, a couple small little paint touch-ups, put the coil on, but that is ready to go. Which means this is chuck out, and yeah, chuck it out. When I mean I'm sick and my voice sounds bad, yeah, the look's even bit worse. Oh my god. Oh well, I'm gonna get some rest, my friends. We'll be back when I recover and continue assembling. Cheers. Stay awesome, because I know I'm not. So, I think the plan of attack is to paint some little stuff and start gluing that engine onto that, or taking that. Okay, boys and girls, previous video had us. No, I don't like that. And if you ask me, how do I know those alternate fucking